Hello, everyone. Mr. K here again. Starting a new series. We're going to call this one Autotech Street Survival. And the reason why I call it that is because we're going to go through a series of lessons here that are meant to get you off the side of the road when you're broken down. Uh, we're going to go through things like tires, weird noises, leaks, all kinds of stuff. Today's going to be, let me see if I can get this PowerPoint to kick in. Tires, part one, okay, because it's probably the most common complaint, issue, questions I have from students, staff, friends, coworkers about their car is tires. It seems like that's where it all starts. So again, purpose here to get you off the side of the road, familiarize you with it so you know what's normal, what's not, and to save you big money. So we're going to talk about what goes wrong with tires. So think about that for a minute. What typically goes wrong with tires? Probably you're going to say they go flat. They shred or delaminate sometimes. They get bulges in them. They have problems with low air pressure, cracks form, and TPMS lights come on. So we're going to talk a little bit about all this stuff. Okay, flat tires. Should you drive on a flat? The short answer is no, but it's not possible oftentimes to not drive on a flat because you don't notice it until you're in the road or you're driving, that type of thing, and the tire blows. So inevitably you have to drive, even if it's just to get over the shoulder, you have to drive on it somewhat. How about a low tire like the one in the picture on the right? Can you drive on it? How long, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So this is just from personal experience, driving on a completely flat tire, like the one on the left. About 100 feet is the most I would push it. After that, you might start getting rim damage. Actually, even before 100 feet, you're going to start damaging the internals of the tire by running it flat. That the edge of the rim actually smashes the cords in the tire and ruins it. So driving on a low tire like the one on the right, you could use a lot of figures for this. I'm going to say maybe 10 miles and try to keep the speed. That's 10 miles if you kept the speed under 50. The biggest problem with low tires is they heat up. So if tires are underinflated, they flex more when they're driving. And as they flex, of course, that causes friction and that heats the tire up. So they can overheat and then loosen up and more likely to blow. Bulging, peeling, delamination. Okay, there's a bulge. It's not super, they're getting less common now, but I've had a couple of them, especially on older tires. Okay, generally speaking, you don't want to drive on these at all, but a bulge, I would say no more than a quarter mile. You see something like that, and probably under 30 miles an hour. I have blown a tire. I had a tire explode on me when I was in college. I had a tire with a bulge like that formed and exploded on a county road. And peeling, same thing. It's gonna continue to peel real fast. So those things you need to get fixed ASAP. So what options do you have if you have a flat tire, peeling tire, bulge, whatever it may be? You can put on the spare, right? If you have one, you can try to fix it on the side of the road, or you can drive on the bad tire and just take your chances. So go ahead and pause my video now and watch this video on how to change a tire, just in case that's something you're not familiar with. Okay, you should have just watched that video. Let's move on. So you change the tire, you put the donut on, right? And you've got this guy in your trunk now. Next thing, go to the tire shop, have them fix this one so you can hurry up and or they might do it for you. Put that back on the car, put the donut back in the trunk. And when you're driving on that donut, you don't want to go over 45 and you don't want to put over about 100 miles on the donut. My next question is why? Why don't you want to just drive for 3-4 weeks on this donut? Why does it matter? As long as this fixes, and that could be your spare, right? Who cares? Well, it's a variety of reasons, but part of it is because that donut is a smaller diameter than the tire you had on there typically. So that means it's going to be spinning faster, which causes issues with ABS working correctly. Some tire pressure monitoring systems won't work correctly with that. Um, Transmission issues, it could cause permanent damage to a transmission or an axle. So it can get into a lot of complex things. We're not going there right now. Just don't do it. What about option 2, fixing it on the side of the road? You can add air, right? If you got a little cordless air compressor or a corded air compressor, something like that in your trunk, you can add air and see if that gets you out of there. Or you can repair it. Okay, go ahead and watch this video on how to inflate car tires now. Okay, you should have just watched that video. Let's move on. Let's talk about the TPMS light. Okay. Your vehicle may just have a light like this. It may just say TPMS, or it may actually tell you which wheel. But an inside of I should probably save that photo for later, but that is what the sensor looks like on the inside of the valve stem of your wheel that actually communicates with your dashboard and tells it that. It stands for tire pressure monitoring system. Well, let's go back to the original question. What if the light's on, but all the tires look fine and you check all the air pressure and they're all perfect? Why is it on? Well, TPMS sensors are only supposed to have a battery life of about 10 years. So if you have a car that's a 10-year model year or older and your TPMS light comes on, first check all your tire pressures. If those all look great, then you probably just have a bad battery. So it's just part of the game. There's not a lot you can do about it. Most of them, you cannot replace the battery. You have to replace the whole sensor. It could be as cheap as $12. It could be as much as $120, depending on what kind of vehicle you have. It's just part of the game, unfortunately. You can also get contaminated. Sensor may not be bad, battery may not be dead, and you may have good tire pressure. But if someone put Fix-A-Flat in the tire, or if somehow you got water in that tire, which could happen a couple of ways, but it can get contaminated. It may not read ever again, or it may not read until it kind of airs out. All right, what if you don't carry a spare? You don't have a spare and your tire's flat. Is there another way to get home besides calling a tow truck or calling someone to bring a tire and wheel to you, that kind of thing? Is there another way? Indeed there is, and it is called the plug patch. The plug patch can be bought. It's a kit that can be bought for, I would say around maybe $8 at Walmart. You can keep it in the trunk of your car, and you keep that instead of a spare tire. And I have used plug patches. I've actually never had one fail. I've never had one leak, but I will tell you, it's not, unless things have changed, it is not currently a DOT approved patch. It is not something that is recommended. It's really more meant for like lawnmowers and things of that nature. To actually put it on a car that goes 80 miles an hour down the highway is not recommended. So I don't let students use these on vehicles that are going to go on the highway, but we're going to practice them because the reality of it is you guys are going to use them at home. And it's a very good skill to know. So let's watch this video on how to do a plug patch. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, you should just watch that video. At this point, go ahead and get your written assignment out and start on that. And have a good day.